Alright, what's up everybody? Make sure I'm actually going here. Yes. Time for another episode of jankityasspodcast, number 70. After, what was that? I took a bit of a week off. I had some shit going on kind of last minute, so I just took a break. Fortunately, it wasn't too long of a break. It could have been longer, but we were able to fix things up. And I'm back now. It's only been a week. What did I say? Number 70 already coming up here. And of course, as always, well, to begin with, if you haven't done so already, go to the corner, like and subscribe, Multimedia Media. That is the channel that you're currently watching. You will get this playlist, of course, the podcast. You will also get the Gutsy-Ass Gamer and Poncho's Paint Booth playlists, which are video games and painting hobbies, respectfully, in that order. And of course, if you stay tuned to the end of the episode here, you'll get all the links to all my stuff. And as always, episode wouldn't be complete without a new beer. Got another one from our folks at Tavar. So you can see we got the skeleton there. And this is Beached. Coming from, Anchorage Brewing Company. This is just a regular old IPA. Good old 6.4%. And I gotta say, I'll tell this to Tom later too. But I'm finally coming around to IPAs. You know, I'm starting to like them now. I get it. That being said, I mean, there's obviously still some, offensively hopped IPAs that I'm sure I can't stand. But in the meantime, let's see what this stuff is like. Not bad. It's got the zip there, but it's still nice and smooth. It's not like a hazy IPA. It's just kind of a normal IPA. That's probably why. Yeah, it's not a double or, God forbid, a triple. Oh, man. Just shit in my throat. But as always, going into the horn. Let's see if you guys can hear that a little bit. Oh, yeah. Nice. Perfect. I also like seeing a good IPA once it's poured out in a glass. And it kind of looks like a giant candy corn, but more fun. A boozy candy corn. So, some things. Obviously, once I let you go here now, it's going to be me and Tom talking for a little bit, and then we'll break. And I got some more articles for you, as always. Glad I figured out how to get that in. And this setup that you see behind me, that's going to be going away eventually pretty soon. I gotta, because honestly, this thing just takes up way too much space. It's kind of a pain in the ass. And I'm planning to get like one of those accordion room dividers that I can put up behind me. It's a little bit easier to use. I can fold it up, put it away. And then these panels are actually just kind of gonna go up against the walls in my room here, just for that added. Because the ceiling is at the back corner over here. It's literally twice as high as the room would normally be. So let's see. So I think the leading edge here, because it follows the roof. I'm on the second story. But like the edge here along the window, that's like 10 feet high, kind of normal. Whereas back there, it's all the way up to 20 by the time it gets to the back. So there's no way that I can't even get anything up there, really. Not easily, anyway. But, so yeah, I'll put up these panels kind of along the walls, sort of help out. And that way, I'm not dealing with like the sound going up and then around and then kind of back down under some bullshit. I don't know, but it's not going to be perfect, ever. Not until I get like a real house and a small ass dinky room for this, but you know what? We'll manage. It's no closet, but whatever. Either way, it'll look different, and that's what's going on. And let's see. I do still have that old slot letterboard that I was using way back in the original solo episodes. But I'm going to try and sell that off because, I mean, I've already got like the, as you can see on the borders here, I got the little jankety-ass logos. And then, of course, whenever I'm doing the solo bits. Not so much whenever I'm recording Zoom, but whatever. Although I guess I could actually figure that out eventually. You know what? I will figure that out later, but not now. Okay, this stuff's actually pretty good. It's nice and smooth, easy drinking. But, well, once again, that is Anchorage Brewing Company Beached IPA. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go for now, and we're going to go to me and Tom, and then I'll come back in a bit with some more articles. So, keep listening, keep watching, or at least, well, keep paying attention. I remember, yeah, the only time I ever had one of those vape pens was when, I had a delivery that got canceled, like, as I was on my way there. I was like, oh, I got a free vape pen. That and Postmates didn't actually, like, make you return stuff that was canceled. Now with Uber, they do, but you get paid for that, too.
Yeah.
Like,
nice.
For drive time and stuff like that, but, you know, just like, oh, I got a free vape pen. It was like cherry limeade or some weird bullshit like that.
See, the conspiracy theorist says in me is like, oh yeah, it was canceled. They wanted to give you the temptation.
I bet it was just like some kid and like, you know, parents came home or something like that. I have no idea. Something stupid.
Yeah, he's like, dude, I'm gonna get myself a vape pen. Oh shit, parents are back.
Or they realize that they have to show me an ID or something like that. I don't know.
That actually, yeah, the ID show is one of those things I think where you wouldn't realize it until you were too late as a dumb kid. Like, I bought alcohol on this app.
Yeah, dude, I remember. Actually, I remember. There's one point I was working down in Hollywood, and yeah, it was right before I got switched over to Uber, and. Yeah, I had one order that was just one of those vape pens or whatever, and I went to deliver it, and like the girl who was the customer or whatever, like, you know, starts hustling me like, hey, where are you? How long is it gonna take to be here? Like bitch, I'll get there when I get there. Just you gotta trust me, right? And then after all that, I get there. She's like, oh shit, I lost my ID or whatever. And then her friend was there. She was underage. And then this was like a whole thing. This took like almost 20 minutes or whatever. Then she was like finally like, oh, my brother sent me a picture of his ID. Will that work? It's like, yeah, fine. As long as he's 21, it'll work. Well, apparently in Ethiopia, which is where these guys were from, their calendar is like 20 years behind ours for some reason. Still there? Oh fuck, I lost Tom for real this time. Hold on, everybody. We're having some technical difficulties. Are you still there?
Oh, I muted myself because of fucking blowing my nose.
Oh, nice.
God damn it.
Okay, you heard what I was saying there, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying that like that is the most comical thing ever of like this clearly underage chick trying to get booze. I forgot my and then you're like, yeah, I don't care anymore. Just send me your brother's license plate, whatever, it'll work. And then they're on a 20-year different calendar system.
Yeah. Which is like, well, your whole country needs to get their shit together.
First off,
I guess.
I have several suggestions for your country's scientific team.
Yeah, right. Also don't fucking hustle me. Either.
This is bullshit.
But yeah, so I ended up having to take the shit back.
Not to mention which, she's giving you shit about like getting it there on time and basically being an ass, and then expecting you to pull her a solid when she doesn't have the shit for you. Come on.
And also apparently part of the reason they were asking me is because when I got to their apartment building, they weren't there because they had gone to Target, which is like a block away. So I had to wait for them to come back for like 4 minutes or something like that. It's like, all right, man.
The stupidity or entitlement of some people, it just astounds me. It's usually both at the same time.
It felt like both.
Yeah.
At the same time. So
that's just stupid.
But fortunately, I haven't had any other problems like that. After that, there were a couple times where, like, I went and it was a vape or alcohol order, and just like nobody answered the door. I was like, all right, not here. Goodbye.
Yep. Your fault for not showing up.
Yep. Good times.
I would be like, okay, I'd be like following whenever I ordered booze, I'd follow the GPS tracker the second it said they were out the door. Because there was like no way in shit I was missing that. Not to mention which, sometimes I'd have to buzz them in. So like I did not want to miss that either.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would just assume that, like, I don't know, maybe someone's like high or just something like that. I have no idea. Or people pass out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, it's like I understand drunk ordering like Amazon stuff and being like, I have no memory of ordering this, but like doing that with more booze is usually because you're not drunk enough in that state in the first place. At least that's what I would think. You know?
Or you're too drunk to begin with.
Yeah. Fair.
Maybe. Who knows? Either way, I get something.
Yeah. Either way, I get paid.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, I'm sure you saw this kind of going around on our Discord and other stuff earlier about China decided to ban video games for kids, almost.
I did hear something
Basically.
about that. They said it's like 3 hours a day or something?
A week.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's insane that they're like trying to do that to kids. Like that it's a government thing? Like what the fuck? Like did like Christian moms from the 1980 suburbia of the United States convince, like whatever his name is, that video games are evil? Like
Ping Pang Pong.
Ping Pang Pong, Pooh Bear, like Ping Poo. Like why did like how the hell? Like how the hell did that, like why, like even for totalitarian control, I don't get like why that's like a priority. Like, oh, we gotta stop them video games playing kids, you guys. Is it because they can't censor it? That might be why, actually.
Maybe.
I would bet censorship.
Well, no, because the official message is they didn't want to they wanted to cut down on like addiction to video games.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, addiction my butt.
That maybe they just didn't want to lose all their money to the Korean kids who play StarCraft all day.
Yeah.
Too, maybe, I don't know.
Can't get called a loser if you never play the game.
There you go. No, it definitely has to be like some kind of a religious or idealist.
I think
type of thing that isn't really.
It has to be part of their control system and their control schema. I mean, it's something crazy. China's been crazy controlling their citizens forever. Like whenever, like I understand that like things can slip out of control. So like I'm sensitive to when people are like, this is going to turn into tyranny or totalitarianism or fascism. It's like yeah, there's valid points to bring up in America about why like we have to be careful about certain things and we don't want to let ourselves slide too far in one direction or another. But then when they talk about like this is worse than like these countries, I'm like, no, it's fucking not.
Yeah.
Like, dude, Australia is worse than America right now insofar as like of just the amount of sheer control that's trying to be implemented there. It's ridiculous. I mean, and that's Australia.
Yeah, they're literally a country founded by criminals.
I know, right? But as somebody pointed out, you know who else it was founded by or descended from?
Well, English people.
The wardens of those prisons.
True. Unless they all left.
Yeah.
Which I doubt.
I doubt. I'm pressing X for doubt.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I don't know. It's also like how long before they just implode too?
Yeah. China, well, no, I mean, if you look at it this way, right? It's the same reason why North Korea hasn't imploded, right? They do just enough to make sure it stay running. Oh, dude, they're not going to implode unless they get a real moron. Because the whole point is, it only implodes if you give people enough knowledge and reason to think that things are wrong, and if you let them have the tools to make a difference. That's why censorship is so important, or like access to technology, which could be a reason why a video game is, are being limited, is because it's incredibly hard to censor, right? Like for example, in Minecraft, there is a digital world that anyone can access if you enter in the right seed code.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about this.
It's basically the digital version of the Library of Alexandria, because it has all of these articles, all of these books that, based on the coding in Minecraft, you can go in and read, and it's impossible to block this Minecraft world unless you completely block Minecraft. So it could be like shit like that, right? Or like video game. What's like one big video game ideology? Like fight the resistance and the evil powers, or like screw the Nazis, or or kill the communists, like right? Like as someone who's like trying to low key do that shit, like I would not be surprised to see the Chinese Communist Party just kind of sweating a bit, like so are we still cool with this being in our country, or this is bad, right, you guys?
You should worry about everybody being cool with you being in the country.
I know, seriously.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, like you say, unless they get some more on, I'm sure whatever the next step after Kim Jong-un is, it's probably going to be decently moronic. And who knows with China?
Yeah, well, supposedly there was a period of time when he was feeling ill, that his sister was going to swoop in. Apparently she's more bad. Like, it was funny, it was one of those things where everyone's like, yeah, a woman tyrant, feminism, and then it's like these reports came out like, she's low-key a psychopath and way more murderous than her brother or her dad. And everyone was like, oh. Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
Plus, we turn that shit into glass whenever.
Yeah. Can we make the covenant and then have the covenant come to China? No. I don't have anything. That's the thing. I whenever I speak ill of these countries, I'm speaking like literally about their governments. They're poor people, the people that live under them. Those people I feel so sad for, and the capacity that I'm able to. It's just absurd with some of these, like some of the stories you hear of people who are living in like communist China or North Korea, just some of the shit they go through, and then it's like, oh yeah, I yelled at traffic today in my
Deservedly,
car.
but yes.
Yes, sure. Not to diminish that it wasn't a problem, but to put my problem in perspective.
I always wonder too, like you almost wonder like if it isn't it wouldn't just be a good idea to just like start annexing shit again. But we got a long ways to go on ourselves before
Oh yeah, no, I don't think we
anything
should
like
be.
that.
I don't think we
Yeah.
should be screwing anybody else up until we can fix ourselves, and that ain't for a while.
But I do kind of wonder, like, what would the merits be, like, if, like if you become, like, you know, the president or whatever, and just be like, hey, Mexico, Canada, you guys want to be, like, just, you know, one country or whatever?
Well, there's so many
See how that
logistics.
goes.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many logistical issues to that too. Not to mention, which even though we're like next door neighbors, there's still massive ideological differences too, right? Like, I mean, we don't see it because we're not exposed to it every day. But I bet you go to any of those places and you're like, oh shit, like there are some definite things we would have to like talk about before we could, have this be a happy family here.
Yeah.
Um,
But I mean, like Mexico, you'd be like, hey, listen, we got mercs and we got special forces and all that shit. We'll get rid of all your cartels. Just get them out of here.
well, it's kind of hard to do that when we're funding half of them. So
That's true.
yeah, thanks CIA and Reagan. Yeah, I want you. It's why that meme came out when that Call of Duty with Reagan came out, and they kept replacing the subtitles on his like some of his shots like that were made as memes. Like, I want you to take all the crack cocaine and put it in the black neighborhoods.
Nice.
It's like, oh wow, damn.
Actually, that does kind of remind me. I remember seeing. Spirit goes down. I do remember seeing a thing about how. I guess the newest Call of Duty. Well, I guess there's a thing about, I guess, the last one that they had that was set in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
They made the decision to not have any swastikas in there.
Yeah.
It was just like all iron crosses. And I guess for this one, they're like, no, we're going to make it real. There's going to be swastikas in there, and you're just going to have to deal with it because you're killing all the Nazis anyway, so shut the fuck up. So,
Well, I think they did that
Yeah.
more along the lines to, not because they were like not trying to offend Nazis, but like there are some people who think that like, yeah, it's one thing to remember history. It's like a whole other thing to like they consider the Nazis like outside of that scope, right? So it's like we should still teach about history and still have certain books like Mark Twain and this and that because that's reflective of the time period. We need to know that. And then there are some people who are like, let's just expunge as much as we have to, as much as we're allowed to and should of Nazis because, dear God, like right, like in Germany, like even I think if I'm not mistaken, in Germany, even having a swastika of any kind
is
in the
illegal.
it's like
Probably,
like
yeah.
straight up you're going to jail, whereas here you're just a redneck or a skithead. Not a redneck. You're just not okay. A shitty redneck.
There you go.
There are good rednecks out there, and they are off wins.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, getting rid of history is never. I don't think it's ever a good thing.
No, I don't.
Because even if somebody is fucking up, you can at least be like, hey, you should already know better.
Yeah.
Because you already know all this shit, and you're just like you're not like spotting some. Yeah, you're just being a dumbass.
Yeah.
And dumbasses are easier to, I don't know, get rid of. I guess I don't know. Actually, no, they aren't. Never mind.
I have a distinct feeling you're wrong on this one.
And actually, speaking of video games, I have decided that the Odyssey playthrough series that I'm doing is going to be on Saturdays, starting with my birthday on the 2nd of
nice.
October, actually.
Nice.
So I should have. I've already got like 13 in the bank, and I'm still.
Nice.
And I'm still like very early in the game too, so
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be quite a bit. But yeah, I'm working on that. I'll be working on it some more now that things home wise have settled down a little bit.
there you go.
money-wise, at least. Physically, I'm sure there's still plenty of things that I have to fix around the house.
Yeah.
Like I was having some nice sink sewage problems yesterday.
Oh, fun.
It's all good. But at least that I know how to fix. I just had to go out to the driveway and, pop the cork on the side of the house, but it took like 3 times.
Yeah.
And that you don't really get that smell out of your nose for a while either.
No, that's stuck with
not
you.
good.
That's stuck with you till you die. But no, luckily as an apartment that's rather modern. There's not too much issues with it. The worst was just the 2 weeks that my air conditioning here didn't work. Which if it was just me, it'd be one thing, but with wife and kids, oof, that sucked.
See, that is kind of one thing, because I feel like, well, I mean, obviously an apartment's an apartment, but like there are some of those things like that you kind of can't do for yourself.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, especially too, because like, if you try to do something, you might like fuck with the terms of your lease. Because like I know how to do electrical shit, but if I do electrical shit, I can get in trouble.
Yeah,
'cause it's like, oh well, you're not the guy we hired to do this, who is our legal contractor that we have like an agreement with. So you just broke the terms of your lease, motherfucker. like, oh no.
Like I mean, there's also a good chance that you might not even have a like a fuse box in your apartment, or you probably do.
Actually, I do. It's most apartments have their own fuse boxes.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I know, right? But that's because you can turn a fuse off and on, and that's just like good to be able to do. Versus like, True. I'm going to go through and change the wiring on something because I think I'm smart, man.
Yeah, maybe you are.
Yeah, I am smart, man.
Probably not. Yeah. Let's see. Movies.
Let's
see what. So it's been a month since we were on here. I did see. I did end up seeing Fast and Furious, of course.
Of course, because your family.
Goddamn right. They could have done better. Quite a bit.
Yeah. I am not shocked. Not shocked at all.
I think the one thing that I didn't really like is how they handled so obviously naturally in Fast and Furious fashion, John Cena eventually becomes one of the good guys.
Gets invited to a barbecue with a beer. Hangs out at the end.
I don't know. They had like an open-ended thing at the end of the movie where like somebody shows up, but you don't see who it is. It probably was his character, but no, like they did a thing where like kind of in like the last big fight with the armored truck or whatever type of thing, where like the other bad guys are like, oh, sorry, we cut you out of the deal. And he's just like, fine, well, I guess I'm one of the good guys now. Fuck you. And that they're. One thing I did kind of like about the movies, they did have like some childhood backstory for the Torettos. That was interesting.
Like, okay, all right, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, like basically the whole story about, because you know how there's like kind of that backstory that they talk about earlier. How about how he nearly killed a guy.
I've literally I've seen 0 Fast and Furious.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not even lying. And it's not even on purpose. It's just I'm not going to go out of my way to see it, and I've never had an opportunity to see it anyway. So don't care.
Well, fine.
I mean, it's fun to hear you talk about it, just because I'm like, oh, cool. Now I get to know without ever having to worry about knowing.
Oh. Well, there is definitely plenty of ridiculous parts.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like there's one where Dom literally beats the shit out of like 15 dudes, but he's not a martial artist or anything like that. So
how do he do that?
well, they were in like an abandoned missile silo, so half of them we just kind of threw off.
There you go.
Stuff like that.
He's just throwing shit off. Shit off.
But yeah, it was whatever. And of course they have Charlize Theron's characters in there too. Again.
Oh yeah, that's right. She's in this one. I remember that.
Yeah, she was like the baddie in the previous one, and I guess in this one, like the other, like the new bad guys busted her out, but they still kind of had her, locked up, sort of.
House arrest.
Yeah, but she gets out, and because everybody else dies or whatever, and is now on the loose and stuff again.
Dun dun dun.
And I did also see, I guess, The Rock said that he's not going to do any more Fast and Furious movies, even the spin-off that he did earlier. So I'm not, which is kind of too bad because they did. Well, A, that one was actually decent, and B, it was kind of open-ended.
Yeah.
At the end there.
And also, The Rock is much more enjoyable, like, on the whole than most other, like, just character actor here, Like, Vin Diesel I love because he was in Riddick. Like, I love the Riddick movies. But after a while, it's just like, okay, he's kind of a weird dude. Like, that's all he's got going for him. He's just a type character. Who gives a shit? But like, The Rock's fun. Like, I actually really enjoy watching whatever he does. Like, I'd go see that stupid Jungle Cruise movie if it's when it's free on Disney Plus. Damn right, I'll watch it.
So in a while. Coming back. We steal you guys away for a little bit more. It's time for your favorite section, a little bit of post-apocalypse, where we go over some articles that are in the news. Not so much today, but a while ago, honestly. And of course, I still got my beer here. Once again, that is Beached from Anchorage Brewing. Check them out if you haven't done so already by now. That's good. Still can't really chug IPAs though, but then again, that's not what they're for. So, without further ado, let me get another sip in here. Nom 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 nom. First article of the day. Here, let me go to my articles. Is what the fuck? That was weird. Calendar went off for some reason, even though I don't have anything today yet. Okay. First article. TikTok mom who lets baby eat sand, rocks, wood chips sparks concern for child safety. This is obvious. Obviously bad. So, this is kind of in the same vein as the, kind of like the original anti-vax movement. Because really, well, I mean, it kind of came from, at least on the white people side, I guess you could say, it really came from like like these naturalists and yogis who don't believe in putting anything, unnatural into your body, especially like chemicals and stuff like that. Whereas, I guess the idea here is that, this fucking dumb bitch is letting her baby like put natural things inside of him or her to try and build up an immune system. Except, those are hard foreign objects. That's gonna turn that baby's stomach into a fucking rock tumbler and, well, cut him up from the inside out, I guess. So it's not, potentially allows and even encourages. Yeah, so sand and dirt. I guess you can kind of pass sand. But I mean, if the kid eats like a small bug or a snail, that could introduce some other sort of parasite that'll, just immediately wipe him out. Like, I don't know if you guys remember that story about there's some kid who ate a slug on a dare, caught like a parasitic worm, which basically just went up into his brain and killed him pretty quickly. It was within like the space of a month. I think like his body just like stopped functioning and then he died. Or something like that, just because of, eating a slug or whatever. Uncooked, of course. So, yeah. If you're going to have a baby, don't be crazy. Next up, what do we got? Nice. We got a lot of movie ones. Again, this time, but exclusive. Joaquin Phoenix getting a Joker trilogy. So that should be fun. Not just another Joker movie, but 2 more Joker movies. So I've only seen the first one, or I guess it would be the first one, but I've only seen it. I only saw it the one time in theaters. I got to go back and watch it again. I'm not even really sure where it's at. Probably on HBO, but yeah, that Joker movie that he did was really good. And, well, set older than I would have thought it'd be. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. It'll be interesting if he somehow... I don't know how they're going to do, like, the Batman aspect of it. Because, I mean, Bruce Wayne was in the original movie as a child. So, we'll see. But then again, also in the comics, the Joker isn't made until Batman is already kind of a real thing, like as an adult. Whereas in this movie, he becomes the Joker much sooner, like decades before. So who knows? But I mean, either way, it's going to be a good movie. Joaquin Phoenix is, good, even if he is a crazy actor, which, I mean, that's kind of how he's good. In a way, trauma breeds talent, apparently. Anyways, I'm excited about this one. You should be too. Next up, I got a couple that are kind of similar. We kind of talked about this before in previous episodes, but the Russo brothers are at an impasse to direct another Marvel movie after Scarlett Johansson lawsuit. So, as we already know, Scarlett's suing Disney because of the way that they released the Black Widow movie. Or more specifically, the hybrid release type of thing. I hear somebody walking around outside. But the point being is basically they said, we're not going to do the streaming release until after the theatrical release is completely done and expired or whatever. So, you don't have to worry about that, and also on top of the fact that she was only getting what's the word? She was only getting royalties from box office. It was all that they had set up. They didn't have anything set up for streaming movies. And from what I understand, a lot of projects didn't, especially in her case, because the movie was finished filming before all the theaters and everything shut down. So it wasn't really expected to be a thing, right? But then Disney just went ahead and, did the double release anyway, which in a way didn't, I mean, it still did a lot more in the box office than it did in streaming release. But I mean, at the same time, she lost money. And of course, everybody, every time I see one of these articles come up online, it's always like, oh, well, she's already a millionaire. Maybe she should just take it on the chin or whatever. But I mean, a contract's a contract. It was in the contract. It was in writing. And they screwed her over. And if they're going to screw Scarlett Johansson over, then they're going to screw everybody who's like in a position beneath that. And that's what people just don't understand. Especially if they're allowed to get away with it. And then, of course, if you don't already know, the Russo brothers, they directed a bunch of Marvel movies, including Endgame and Infinity War. And I believe, Winter Soldier and Civil War. And then I'm not sure. I'm sure that they had a part in some other things too, I think. I don't remember. I think they might have done Age of Ultron as well. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think that one was kind of last minute. And then the next article is kind of just a different take on the same thing. Black Widow lawsuit may stop Russos from directing another MCU movie. So, yada, yada, yada. They're kind of taking her side. Knowingly. Because, I mean, they could very easily be, they're not on the executive side. They're on the talent side, as Scarlett Johansson is. So they could very easily have the same issue. Like if they, like what would happen if they put out a movie and it's hybrid release or whatever, but that just isn't in their contract or whatever. They could be screwed the same way. Even though, yes, they're making millions of dollars off of these movies. A promise is a promise, a contract's a contract. And last up, speaking of Marvel Studios to release record 5 films in 2023. And then also, I guess, a little bit more for 2024. So this is obviously going to be in a while from now, because it's only 2021 right now. But, let's see. I just want to see exactly which ones. Yeah, so I mean, even this year, I guess it looks like there's going to be a decent record, because normally it's been about 3 years, except for the years that they released the third and fourth Avengers movies. But let's see. So this year it's going to be, because Black Widow got delayed, so that one came out this year. Shang-Chi came out this year, and then we're getting Spiderman and Eternals this year. So that's already breaking a record as 4. And then they're also including I guess like Sony backed movies as well. Let's see. So it's gonna be Blade reboot, Deadpool 3, Ant-Man, Guardians, I guess, and something else in 2023, Untitled. So there's going to be a lot. There's a lot to look forward to. And that is where I'm going to cap it for this little articles bit. Basically, yeah, a lot of Marvel-related articles. They got a lot of ups and downs coming up here pretty soon. But, I mean, personally, I'm still a Marvel fan. And that's really more Disney, right, that's doing all this shit. Marvel's just a side deal or whatever. But anyway, we will all see what happens. And for now, I'm going to go ahead and release you back to finishing up our conversation with me and Tom. Once again, if you haven't done so already, go to the corner down here, like and subscribe, Multi-Ready Media. You already know the drill. You've heard my plugs a while now. I'm going to have to do a plug slate with Tom at some point as well, but we'll figure that out later. So for now, well, keep watching. We'll finish up, and then we're going to have some new material after this week. So stay tuned and keep having the fun or whatever. Enjoy your road trip. Enjoy your whatever you're working on when you're listening to this or watching this. Hopefully you're not watching and driving. As always, whatever. Stay tuned. Here we go. Are you listening to this show and thinking, man, I'd like to start a podcast, but I don't even know where to start? Well, Buzzsprout has the answers for you. Buzzsprout is a podcast hosting service that provides a number of valuable resources to help you on your podcasting career path. For one, Buzzsprout offers indefinite hosting of all your episodes and allows you to host as much material as you want, depending on the type of subscription that you opt for. Buzzsprout also provides a means for getting your show hosted to every major podcasting platforms such as iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, you name it. In addition, Buzzsprout also provides various means to get your show monetized through various sponsorship and affiliate programs, links to other paid hosting platforms such as Patreon and YouTube, and your own personal newsroom to learn all the tips and tricks for optimizing your podcast for the greatest return on your investment. If you're hearing all this and you're still interested, you can go to my link below and receive an Amazon gift card for starting a podcast hosting subscription that you'll receive on the second billing period of your podcast journey. Everyone has something to share, and there's no time like the present. Join Buzzsprout today.
Now, what I did see, because it's now free on Disney Plus, is Cruella, the Emma Stone one, and I gotta tell you, it was really good. I actually really liked it. I thought it's a whole other take on the character, which is fine. I mean, they gotta do something, right? But it was really surprisingly well done. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did.
It was kind of like a prequel or whatever, right?
basically it's her origin story, if you will. But it was good. It was like really freaking well done.
Nice.
And yeah, and Emma Stone was great. Emma Thompson's in it. She's fantastic. They're both fun to watch. And yeah, man, like it was just a good solid film. And like I found myself really enjoying it. The casting felt like it was really good too. They made some great casting choices. But yeah, I like that. Aside from that, I can't really think of any other movies off the top of my head that caught my eye. Oh, what else have I have? Man, having kids, man, you just forget everything from your day-to-day life. It's like, I don't remember I'm alive.
Just a bunch of old Disney movies, probably.
Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how many times we've seen fucking Mary Poppins. All of the times. The answer is all of the times.
There's still only the one, isn't there? They never made like a...
They did make a reboot.
Mary Poppins
sequel.
2, Mary's Revenge.
Yeah, the poppening. No, it was they made a second one actually a couple years ago with Emily Blunt.
Oh yeah, I kind of...
Yeah, and actually
that too.
I saw it because I took my nieces to go see it. And first time I was like, oh, this is fun. It's not bad. And then I saw it a second time, like on TV, because like my wife was playing in the background for them. And I remember watching it and I was being like, this movie's a piece of trash. It's fucking awful. And I hate every minute of it. I think the second one sucks. I think Emily Blunt was an amazing casting choice for that. And that's as good as
yeah.
That's it. She's a perfect replacement for what should have been a much better movie than it was. And it has like one or two sequences that are actually pretty good. Like their whole take on the animated bowl where like they're in the ceramic bowl, kind of like how in the first one they're in the chalk painting. They have like a related scene. First off, the entire thing is a scene for scene redo of the first movie. It really freaking is. And then, but their redo of the chalk painting or ceramic thing, I liked that. That was really good. I liked that part. It was nice. Everything else can just blow its ass. It's like, this is just a copy paste. And I'm sorry, I'm so sick of Lin-Manuel Miranda. So much. Like, dude, we get it. You're freakishly talented. Just stop. And your cocky British accent is so annoying. It's like,
accent.
Well, yeah, fair play, but still, good God, it was annoying.
Actually, I last night, and I was surprised that this was actually kind of what it was. I ended up seeing that new Chris Pratt one that they have on Amazon. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It was more interesting than I thought it would be.
Same.
I will say that. The only thing that I kind of didn't like, well, one thing that I don't like when they do with some movies and like stories and stuff like that is when they try to like institutionalize things, if that makes sense.
Okay, like what do you mean?
So if you have a movie, like, well, I'll just use Harry Potter for example.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it's like a movie about like wizards and magic and stuff like that, but then it's also like, you know, a school or like an agency or some shit like that, and everything has like their own catch names or whatever, you know, stuff like that. Like that always, that always kind of loses me, because then, yeah, it just doesn't really feel as gritty.
I think I get what you're saying.
So yeah, when I say that, the only thing that the only thing that I didn't actually like is how they just already had like a name for the aliens.
Oh, they couldn't just be nameless or like have
quick
colloquial nicknames.
Yeah, and instead they just all of a sudden already were like, oh, it's the White Spikes.
Yeah,
some weird shit.
That's fair.
And and one thing that I do kind of give him credit also is I do like when movies kind of already assume that you're able to kind of like infer and understand some things.
Yeah, they don't treat you like you're stupid.
Yeah, so like just the fact that they, towards the end when they figure out like, oh, these things aren't even actually like a like an invading alien race, or just like some bioweapon or whatever for some other aliens that crashed here, and they're just like, yeah, whatever, we still have to deal with this shit. Let's not even worry about it. Things like that.
Yeah. I actually was insanely impressed with the creature design. I thought the
Oh
creature
yeah,
design was really cool.
they
I
were
mean,
good and nasty.
good and nasty. Could you break it down and think of them as evil Easter bunnies? You can't. But I thought they were really well designed and really well done, and the CGI was incredible. I mean, the production value of that movie was really, really good. Say what you will about the writing or the script.
It was okay.
Yeah.
And also probably like the most like geeky high school observation was I did like the guns were not just shit. I
What
guess
do you
if that
mean?
makes sense. They actually kind of had the sound down, and
Oh,
you could see like they were actually in some cases fucking up the aliens, at
yeah.
least one on one.
It's not like the they're impervious to our weapons thing. It
Yeah,
was just like these are fast, tough motherfuckers, and you can kill them, but don't miss.
yeah, but yeah, otherwise whatever.
There
Just
was a
another
bit. I did have my bit of a problem with like the whole string theory of it, where it's like, yeah, if you're coming back in time to warn us about these things, but then there's the string theory effect. We could also just not give a shit of helping you because guess what? That's your reality, not ours, right?
maybe.
I mean, kind of to borrow a bit from Rick and Morty, right? But like, if these people are coming back in time and they're picking who's gonna come and fight because they know who's already gonna be dead by the time the next thing starts, it's like, well, you've also just changed the course of reality for our reality, and so like there is this idea of like maybe it doesn't affect us, maybe it doesn't, or it could be that in both realities they're like, hey, like uh, there's these aliens that show up on Earth and our Earth was pretty same to yours up until this point. So maybe, can you? That was another thing too. If I think about it, why didn't they just try and find the source and like go back, right? Like, hey, here's all this video information. We're all dying over here. We're gonna lose a war, that we know we're gonna lose, and we're gonna die no matter what, right? That was the whole thing with his daughter. You take the solution. Why didn't they just give him like the raw data? Just be like, we don't know what the shit this place came from. We're all gonna die, but now you guys can prepare and figure it out. Like they should have led with that, you know? Like,
Well, that was the thing though. Like at the for whatever, like at the time they didn't actually have that. They
no,
didn't really truly.
they said
They just said like, oh, they came from Russia, but Russia's a huge place, and they
right.
were basically just instantly screwed.
Right. So then it's like, here's some DNA samples. Here's where they came from, Russia. Also, build a bunch of guns, y'all. Like,
True. But yeah, that was one thing they never actually alluded to the fact like, oh yeah, I remember them taking all of our grandparents and shit into the future to now type of thing. So
yeah, that's the thing. I think it's not
yeah,
about just time travel. It's like time travel to a different reality. That's the only, and I mean, that whole time travel thing gets weird when you introduce it, so I understand that, but
yeah.
I mean, that's literally the only way that works.
Well, I mean that and like it'd be implying that it wasn't like a pre-existing loop or whatever, but
It can't be. It
they
would be
actually
like,
created it
well, or
in
it's
that
like
future.
it's like here's their timeline as one line, here's our timeline as another line. And for them, they're at mile 10, we're at mile 2. And when they go back in time, they're not going back in time to their mile 2. They're coming to our mile 2 and warning us, and then going back to their line. It's kind of like a slant, if you will. I don't know. That's the only way that works without it breaking a paradox. But that's one of the different many ways to think of time travel is when you go back in time, you're not changing your reality, you're changing somebody else's.
Well, it worked, I guess.
It did.
So, let's see what else. Oh yeah. No, I had a point. Oh yeah, actually, as I was saying about probably the best example that I've seen about them like not treating the audience as stupid was actually in Infinity War, whenever
Oh, really?
Doctor Strange goes up against Thanos, because of like all the shit that he does. Like, oh yeah, it's like, oh yeah, so I sent him into a side fractal universe. I dematerialized his black hole and changed reality in that way, and I split myself into multiple versions or whatever, and they didn't actually try to even bother explaining all this shit. It's just like it just happens. And like, as a sci-fi and fantasy fan or whatever, it's just like, oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah, and the thing of it is too, it could be one of those things they don't have to explain too much, right? Because it's like a fight scene. So it's like
That too.
fight scene look cool. That's all it matters. Now, what they did do is they made it so it has some depth to it. So it's not just a cool looking fight scene, but it's a cool looking fight scene for Doctor Strange's character and who he's fighting. So like there's a depth to it, but I don't think it's one of those things where it's like they didn't have to explain anything. I'd actually think, for me, basically anything that Christopher Nolan directs, starting, like especially Interstellar, like that's freaking treating your audience like, you better not be dumb coming into my theater because you all got to keep up, right? Like that shit is tough to understand. I remember being blown away watching Interstellar, like thinking it was like so cool. And I thought Tenet was great too. I know people didn't like it as much, but I love Tenet. I thought it was great.
Well, they were dumb.
Yeah, yeah. That's my answer. It's like, I didn't like Tenet. Well, you clearly didn't understand it.
I mean, like I kind of didn't get it the first time, but that was only because the volume wasn't really up. I was watching it with other people.
Well, and the thing of it is, to be completely fair, I actually watched it after I had seen a lot of people say it's a confusing movie. So I went in geared to figure out what I was watching as I was watching it, as opposed to most times you walk into a movie and you're like, okay, my brain is off. I am just here, right? And that's why people criticize movies sometimes, because it's like the suspension of belief, right? Your brain doesn't kick back in and say, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense they're doing that, like kind of drawing you out of the fantasy of what you're experiencing.
Well, I mean, those are the fucking morons who bring their kids to like R-rated movies and shit. I don't know.
That's always special.
I don't know if I told you about whenever I went to see Deadpool. It was like just a whole family.
I think you told me about that.
Yeah, like, what are you doing?
Like, I don't care. They're
I mean, at least these kids were like so, fucking ADD running around and shit that they didn't even know what was going on. Anyway, so it's not like you screwed them up, I guess.
Yeah, you just screwed up everybody else's viewing experience.
No, it wasn't too bad.
There you go.
Did I already tell you about the time whenever I went to see the Warcraft movie?
No.
At the Dollar Theater. So well, yeah, that movie sucked. Straight up.
Okay, shut your mouth. I loved that.
Unfortunately.
Movie. I loved the Warcraft movie.
Okay,
you can go to
visually awesome, but like
yes.
they kind of went. It was too much like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I know.
These things happen, but no. So I went to see it at the Dollar Theater. That's kind of close to me.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, the showing that I went to was also the showing that an entire special needs class went to.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So
good night, everybody.
So like, I think, yeah, I remember like I heard there was like one girl like kicking the seat or something like that, not mine or whatever. But probably the weirdest is every once in a while there was a kid who like had Tourette's or something like that. And like every every like few minutes you would just hear like a like this, and somehow it almost always ended up being like when somebody died in the movie as well.
Sometimes people with that condition use that to, I think, relay like a sense of like, oh my God, I'm registering something, or excitement. So it's like if it's more intense. So that's probably why that happened, or it was just incredible timing. I don't know.
Well, no, it'd have to be time because it was almost always like
On point.
yeah, and also during just like other random points in the movie too that didn't even matter
Yeah.
or whatever. So
God damn it.
it didn't
Yeah.
help my experience, but it didn't really hurt it either. So,
There you go.
also, speaking of Marvel, we get Shang-Chi pretty soon here.
I am yoked about some Shang-Chi, my friend.
I want to see that one.
I definitely want to see that one.
Definitely be interesting to see what the end credits are going to be, how they're going to tie them into everybody else.
Yeah.
Or everything else.
That would be interesting. Yeah, I mean, because is it just like a, hey, congrats, one and done, bye?
No.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so either. What I'm curious though, what's interesting, and I noticed this because there was a period of time where I was basically, walking my son around every night because he couldn't go to sleep because he was teething like crazy. Yeah. He was a little kid. But I ended up rewatching all the Marvel movies, and in the very first Iron Man movie, the terrorist
Ten
group,
Rings. Yep.
the 10 Rings, and I was wondering if there was going to be some kind of connection or explanation to that, or if that was just kind of a really deep cut illusion that they just never did anything with, and now it happens to be a part of the plot and it's not going to be related, right? Like, I don't know, just interesting stuff.
So apparently I know Kevin Feige did come out and say like that is actually the same people.
10 Rings.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And then, yeah, and like it somehow kind of ties the Mandalorian as well, but they also completely like did away with that. And no, because the actual Mandalorian in the comics, his power comes from he has like the 10 rings of power, and they're actual physical rings that he wears on his fingers, as opposed to the armbands that they that they do in the movies. So
yeah, we've seen that.
They sort of nuked that completely. But I know one thing that they do differently in the comics is
do
but no, so fuck, when was it? Yeah, earlier on. This was actually after the whole Civil War thing, and kind of during when the non-legit Avengers kind of go underground and go to other parts of the world. They actually end up recruiting Shang-Chi as an Avenger, and that storyline is when he finds out kind of who his father is. And that, so it's not the same as a movie where he's kind of like, out trying to live a normal life away.
Yeah.
But no, he finds out that his father is I don't remember who it was. It was like some other villain, but apparently he prolongs his life by like draining the life force from his children.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so he's
some Kronos bullshit.
Yeah, so his dad is in the comics was actually like 1,000 years old or something like that, probably more, and of course has like a gang of ninjas and stuff like that too.
Yeah, I'll give you some of my kid immortality juice.
So then they kind of he ends up coming after Shang-Chi, and like Captain America and his other buddies kind of show up and like, hey man, we're gonna help you whether you like it or not, and you're an Avenger now.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
okay.
Fuck, all right.
Yeah.
And they get the job done. It's like, all right, I'll help you. I'm an Avenger. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool with this idea now.
And that's how that part works out. So I don't know. So they do kind of get it right in the movie, but obviously they're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Not sure exactly what, but I'm sure it'll be good.
Nobody knows. I'm really curious to see what happens. I'm also really curious to see what happens with No Way Home.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Now that we just saw that trailer. That shit's gonna be interesting. And also like whether or not there are gonna be other Spider-Mans in it, or if they're gonna finish off the Sinister Six, like who that would end up being. Just all these just really cool questions, and finally being able to figure out like what the hell this movie's going to look like, and then how it's going to play into Multiverse of Madness, because Doctor Strange is going to fall right on the heels of that, and we know that Scarlet Witch is in that one, like hardcore.
Yes. Well, I mean, they did straight up say that Tobey Maguire and what's his face, Andrew Garfield, are in the movie.
Yeah, but like to what extent, right? Like,
so, yeah, hopefully they're not like, oh, you kind of remind me of my Spider-Man, and there's just like a flash of, one of the other two.
I know, right?
It. But no, I'm sure it'll be some kind of just, clusterfuck of good Marvel fun.
Oh yeah, I mean, and not to mention which too, it's like not only is it a cool like acknowledgement that like, hey, all those other Spider movies are technically canon, like because they're just in their own universe. It's also a way to like acknowledge those actors' efforts in what was probably one of the more redone IPs since Batman.
Second most.
I know, seriously.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say? And it sounds like it's almost I think it's like a very definite thing that they're gonna have the Daredevil in there too, because
be so good.
Well, because what's his face, Charlie Cox is in the movie. He's casted.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
They just don't have what his character is.
I mean,
he's
playing Matt Murdock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
I wouldn't be surprised if what they do is that he ends up being Spider-Man's lawyer, because we do see that scene where he's in jail and he shows up and he's like, "Hey, I'll be your lawyer," and even if that's all they do, it's a way to like generate excitement and buzz around his character, because like, man, that show was so freaking good. Like, they need to bring that show back, or give all those. Yeah, they just all were so good.
I know they gave what was it? I know Disney put they put Charlie Cox, Joe Bernthal, and I want to say Kristen Ritter kind of back on schedule. I don't know if they're
gonna skip out on my boy Luke Cage.
Well, I hope they kind of bring them back. Like, I hope that they continue what Netflix already did. But
I really hope so too, and because it would just be a shame if those never got to be fulfilled or finished or what have you.
Or unless they're suddenly sucked into the actual MCU universe, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, why
not? Damn it! What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Also, I do kind of hope. I do hope that Strange has like he's like part of the whole movie. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I think
not just like towards the beginning, like not like.
It looks
I
like
screwed up the spell. Okay, bye.
Well, no, it looks like he is, because there's that whole thing with the train. So it looks like he's going to be a supporting character at the very least.
Yeah. He'll be the Hulk to his Thor, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be good.
And I think I remember. I do remember seeing something that apparently in. Once the actual with Doctor Strange, it sounds like they actually casted somebody from the old X-Men movies
for Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember who it was. That or it was either that, or I guess there was a leak that like one of the characters is on the script. Or so. Oh no, I think. I'm thinking of something else. I think. Oh no, I remember that there was a No, so what I just told you is still true. There was also I don't know who it is or anything like that, but I remember that there was also a thing that they were going to try. There was a plan to get Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine for one of the MCU series, and I think it was WandaVision. But I don't remember.
If he somehow ends up in
Yeah.
the next season of WandaVision, like holy
Well,
shit.
there isn't one,
I know.
unfortunately. It was either that or that was like one of the plots that they were gonna do for multiverse.
Yeah, maybe.
I think I saved it. I don't remember.
I can't remember. I mean, I remember hearing something about that, but like, that's as far as my memory goes. Just looking at all this stuff I've got to clean up.
Let's see, where do we go? See, I do have some articles here that I saved, hopefully. Oh yeah, Ryan Reynolds is trying to get in on Thor. Good luck with that. Oh, I did also see something that somebody wants to do a like a Marvel Red Team movie.
Oh wow.
So it'd be like Daredevil, Deadpool, and Spider-Man. Something like that.
That'd be awesome.
That
would be a fun movie. Because like basically it would just be Daredevil and Spider-Man doing their thing, and then anytime that Deadpool's more involved, he takes over the comic or movie like first person like he always does, and they're like, dude, who are you talking to? He's like, shut up, it's the audience. And they're like, what? Like he does in the comics.
Yeah, I couldn't find what I was looking for, but let's see. I know one article that I had, one of the previous episodes, actually kind of switching around a bit. I guess James Gunn kind of wants to do like a Ravagers show.
Dude, that'd be sick.
Which would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Even if it was like prequel or post.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, he's good at what he does. Like he could.
Do no wrong.
He can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Well, apparently he could because he got booted for that one movie.
Not really though.
They
brought him back.
They brought him back because it was just kowtowing. But
just some bullshit.
It was some bullshit.
Oh yeah, and this one was another interesting one. Apparently, did you ever see Dark City?
Movie
back in the day?
I loved that movie. Yeah.
So apparently, the original director is making a TV show based off of that.
I do remember that. I saw that like a couple weeks ago, and I remember being like, I did not ask for this. I did not expect this, but I want it now.
That'd be nice.
All of it. Yeah. Oh, dude, like I want that. I can't wait to watch the Foundation series, the one which unfortunately is going to be, I think, on Apple TV. Or is it on HBO? One of the two. If it's on HBO, I will totally figure out a way to watch it. It's based off the Isaac Asimov books, The Foundation, which I loved growing up. I read I think almost all of those books. And I'm pumped for the new Dune movie. I am so I have to reread Dune. Damn it.
Do you really though?
I actually kind of do. I read it already, but I really want to see how he approaches the movie, given what the book does. So I do want to reread it, and also to familiarize myself with the characters, because it's a decently impressive cast of characters. So.
Oh yeah, I think he's the first one to get Batista and Momoa in the same movie.
I know, right?
It's like, wait a minute, what? Shit, what else was I looking at? Oh yeah, the Kingsman is finally coming out too.
Yep, that'll be fun to watch. I love the Kingsman.
That'll be a good one.
That'll be
I
fun.
like that they got what's his face for Rasputin.
Oh, I didn't see that part. I haven't seen a trailer in a while.
Like he's like the main the main bad guy.
Well, Rasputin sounds like he would be a main bad guy. I'm just more quite. I don't know who's playing him because I haven't seen the trailer.
It was where's my IMDb? Here we go. Shit that I don't fire up. Oh, literally the first thing. The King's Man. Of course, Ralph Fiennes is in there.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cast right now.
Oh, Rissifans.
Yeah, Ralph Fiennes. Daniel Brühl. Nice.
Tom Hollander. What?
Oh yeah, Tom. He was he plays a lot of creepy roles. I think he dies in a lot of stuff too.
Got our boy Tucci in there.
Yes, Stanley Tucci. God bless him.
Yeah, so that one looks fun. I thought it like came and went and I missed it.
Yeah, me too.
A long time ago, but I'm still waiting to see if the I think that's what I want to see is the Green Knight, but I don't know if that one came and went.
It just came out recently. I don't know if it's went at this point, but you can rent it. I really want to watch it. I haven't had a chance to, but
I think it went.
What do you mean?
Yeah, because like because when I was home.
You mean the hype for it?
No, the movie itself.
No, I think you should still be able to rent it.
Because whenever I went home and we went to
or go to the theaters.
Yeah, like I had seen that it was in my home movie theater like the day before I checked.
I'm seeing showtimes for it.
Or whatever, and then
I'm looking at like 3 different showtimes for it at 3 different theaters.
In LA?
Yeah.
Well, shit.
It's definitely still in theaters, dude. It's definitely getting to the point where you're running out of showtimes, but you know, it's definitely there, and then you can definitely rent it on Alicia Vikander in that movie. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it in any of my theaters. It's odd. Mm-mm. Are you sure you just don't have like a...
No, I just Googled it, and then it showed me theaters and showtimes. But I'm also on desktop. I'm also on desktop, so it gives me more mid-detail.
Oh. Yeah, because I'm looking at Fandango. And there's like... Where's the now playing? The Green Knight. Skip this fucking ad. Don't care about Boss Baby. Oh, weird. It's like at other movie theaters. It's not at the big ones. Huh. Well, I'll have to take a better look at that then.
Yeah.
Some other time. But yeah, that's one I want to see. That's an odd one.
Yeah, no, it looked really cool. And I also love those like art house style movies too, where it like gets a little more cerebral and more just about the visuals. So I'd totally see it.
I know another movie like that I really liked back in the day was I forgot. Hold on. It was that Greek movie with Henry Cavill.
The Immortals? Yeah. I love that movie.
That one was a really good one.
I got super fucking drunk and watched that movie, and I loved every minute of that movie. I loved too, like, yeah, it's a complete different visual take on everything. That was really cool.
That was back when I still had full-time work.
That's back when I think that was my senior year of college. So I was about to enter into the prospect of not having a job ever, because that's what I basically thought was going to happen to me.
Nice.
Anyway, I think that does it for me tonight, dude. Oil has been burned.
Nice.